Love is something everyone talks about, but not everyone truly understands. It's easy to get caught up in big gestures, dramatic words, or temporary excitement. But real love doesn't live in grand speeches or social media moments. It shows up quietly, it shows up consistently, and most importantly, it shows up in actions. When a man truly loves you, you feel it in the way he listens, not just hearing your words, but actually absorbing them. When you talk about your day, he remembers details later. When you share something important, he doesn't brush it off or turn the conversation back to himself. He leans in, he asks questions. He tries to understand what you meant, not just what you said. Real love pays attention. It values your thoughts, your stories, your emotions. You're not just background noise in his life, you matter. You'll notice it in how he handles your boundaries. Love is not control. It is not pressure. It is not guilt. If you say you need space, he doesn't take it as rejection. If you say you're not comfortable with something, he respects that without trying to push you into changing your mind. A man who truly cares about you wants you to feel safe, not obligated. He understands that closeness grows stronger when it's chosen freely, not forced. Another powerful sign is how he shows up without being asked. You don't always have to spell out your needs. He notices when you're tired. He notices when you're stressed. He notices when something feels off. Maybe he brings you water when you forget to drink enough. Maybe he takes something off your plate when you're overwhelmed. Maybe he simply sits quietly next to you when words aren't necessary. It's not about grand gestures. It's about thoughtful awareness. That kind of attention comes from genuine care. Pay attention to how he reacts to your success. Does he celebrate you? Does he look proud when you achieve something? Or does he become distant and uncomfortable? A man who truly loves you does not compete with you. He doesn't feel threatened by your growth. Your wins feel like his wins. He encourages you to chase your goals. He supports your ambition. He doesn't try to shrink you to make himself feel bigger. Real love wants you to shine. Mistakes are inevitable in any relationship. What matters is how they're handled. A man who genuinely loves you takes responsibility when he's wrong. He doesn't twist the story to avoid blame. He doesn't dismiss your feelings to protect his ego. He listens when you say you're hurt. He apologizes sincerely. And most importantly, he tries to do better. Love isn't about being perfect. It's about being accountable. Growth becomes more important than pride. Look at how he talks about the future. Does he casually mention things you could do together months from now? Does he include you when discussing plans? When someone loves you deeply, you are naturally woven into their vision of what's ahead. It's not forced. It's not dramatic. It's natural. You become part of the picture because he can't imagine moving forward without you there. Love also shows up in how he supports your individuality. He doesn't try to mold you into someone else. He doesn't criticize your passions just because they're different from his. He respects your interests. He encourages your growth. He wants you to evolve, to learn, to become stronger and more confident. Real love expands you. It doesn't limit you. One of the clearest indicators of genuine love is emotional safety. You don't feel like you have to constantly guard yourself. You don't walk on eggshells. You can express your feelings without fearing punishment or silent treatment. You can disagree without fearing abandonment. Emotional safety is powerful. It allows both people to be authentic without fear. Consistency is another major sign. Anyone can be amazing for a week. Anyone can say the right words when things are easy. But what happens when life gets stressful? When he's tired? When there's conflict? A man who truly loves you doesn't disappear when things get uncomfortable. He doesn't withdraw affection as a way to gain control. He stays present. He works through issues. He communicates, even when it's hard. Watch how he handles vulnerability. If he opens up about his fears, his doubts, his insecurities, that's not weakness, that's trust. Many people struggle to show their softer side. When someone lets you see their uncertainties, it means they feel safe with you. And when love is real, vulnerability becomes mutual. You both feel seen. There's a difference between attraction and devotion. Attraction can be intense and exciting. It can feel like fireworks, but fireworks fade. Devotion is quieter. It's steady. It's built through reliability and shared experiences. Devotion means showing up again and again, even on ordinary days. It means choosing each other repeatedly, not just when emotions are high. Notice how he responds when you're upset. Does he try to minimize your feelings by saying you're overreacting? Or does he try to understand what hurt you? Someone who loves you doesn't treat your emotions like inconveniences. He treats them like important signals. Even if he doesn't fully understand at first, he tries. Also, pay attention to how he speaks about you when you're not around. Respect continues even in your absence. If he protects your reputation, if he speaks kindly about you to others, that shows integrity. Love isn't performative. It doesn't exist only in private moments. It carries through consistently. A man who truly loves you invests time, not just leftover time, real time. He prioritizes being present. In a world full of distractions, attention is one of the greatest gifts someone can offer. If he puts his phone down to focus on you, if he creates space for meaningful conversations, that matters more than expensive gifts. There are also signs that something might be missing. If he avoids serious conversations repeatedly, if he refuses to define the relationship after a long period of time, if your emotional needs are constantly brushed aside, that's worth paying attention to. Love is not confusion, it's clarity. It may not have all the answers immediately, but it moves toward understanding, not away from it. Healthy love doesn't make you feel anxious about your place in someone's life. It doesn't leave you constantly guessing. You shouldn't feel like you're competing for attention or trying to prove your worth. When someone truly values you, you feel secure. Not because they say, "Trust me," but because their actions build trust naturally. Another powerful sign is how he reacts during disagreements. Conflict is normal, but does he aim to win or to resolve? A man who loves you wants understanding, not dominance. He doesn't treat arguments like battles. He treats them like problems to solve together. Love is also about shared responsibility. He doesn't leave all emotional labor to you. He checks in. He initiates conversations. He puts effort into maintaining the connection. Relationships thrive when both people participate fully. Real love feels steady. It's not constant chaos. It's not dramatic highs followed by painful lows. It feels grounded. Even when life is uncertain, the connection feels stable. You don't question whether he cares. You feel it. And perhaps the most important thing, when someone truly loves you, you can be yourself. Fully, without editing your personality to fit his preferences. You can laugh loudly, speak your mind, admit your flaws. You don't feel the need to perform. Love accepts reality, not a curated version. At the end of the day, love isn't proven by one grand moment. It's revealed in patterns, in daily effort, in emotional maturity, in respect, in presence, in consistency. If you see these behaviors in someone, you're not just experiencing attraction. You're experiencing depth. You're experiencing intentional care. And that kind of love is not loud or flashy. It's powerful because it's real. Always remember to observe actions over promises. Words can be beautiful, but consistency tells the truth. Pay attention to how you feel around him. Do you feel safe, encouraged, respected, supported? Those feelings are signals. Love that truly lasts is built on mutual understanding, accountability, growth, and genuine affection. It doesn't demand perfection. It asks for effort. It doesn't demand control. It invites partnership. When a man truly loves you, you won't have to constantly question it. You'll see it. You'll feel it. And most importantly, you'll experience it in the small, everyday moments that quietly say, "You matter to me." Love is one of the most talked about emotions in the world, yet it's also one of the most misunderstood. People often look for dramatic signs, big declarations, constant texting, expensive gifts, public displays. But real love rarely shouts. It moves quietly. It reveals itself in patterns, in consistency, in the small decisions someone makes every single day. When a man truly loves you, you feel it in the way he listens. Not just nodding while you speak, not just waiting for his turn to talk. He listens with presence. When you describe something that bothered you at work, he remembers the name of the person involved weeks later. When you share a dream you've had since childhood, he doesn't laugh it off. He asks questions. He wants to understand why it matters to you. There's a softness in his attention. You don't feel rushed. You don't feel dismissed. you feel received. And that feeling of being received is powerful. Because in a world where everyone is distracted, being deeply listened to feels rare. It tells you that your inner world is important to him, not just your appearance, not just what you do for him, but your thoughts, your fears, your stories. You'll also notice love in how he handles your boundaries. When you say you need space, he doesn't interpret it as rejection. When you say you're uncomfortable with something, he doesn't try to persuade you out of it. He respects your limits without resentment. He understands that closeness grows stronger when it's chosen freely. Real love does not pressure. It does not guilt. It does not manipulate. It honors your individuality. There is a difference between someone wanting access to you and someone wanting your well-being. A man who loves you prioritizes your well-being, even if it means slowing down, even if it means waiting, even if it means adjusting his own expectations. Another strong sign is how he shows up without being asked. You don't have to beg for effort. You don't have to explain basic consideration. He notices when you're overwhelmed. He sees the tension in your shoulders after a long day. He senses when your voice sounds different. And instead of ignoring it, he responds. Maybe he offers help. Maybe he gives you quiet company. Maybe he simply says, "Talk to me." Love pays attention. You will also see love in how he reacts to your success. When something good happens in your life, does he celebrate you genuinely? Does he seem proud? Or does the energy shift? A man who truly loves you is not threatened by your growth. He doesn't compete with you. He doesn't minimize your achievements. Your happiness excites him. Your progress inspires him. He wants you to win. Insecure attachment often tries to shrink a partner. Healthy love expands them. It encourages them to become more of who they already are. Pay attention to how he handles mistakes. Everyone makes them. Words come out wrong, misunderstandings happen. But when he hurts you, does he take responsibility or does he deflect? Someone who truly loves you values the relationship more than his ego. He is willing to admit when he's wrong. He apologizes sincerely, not just to end the argument, but because he genuinely cares about your feelings. He asks what he can do differently next time. That willingness to grow is a powerful expression of love. You will also see love in future conversations, not necessarily grand plans, but small assumptions. When he talks about a trip months away and says, "We should go there," when he discusses long-term goals and naturally includes you, when he imagines next year and you are part of the picture. Love slowly weaves you into the future. If someone avoids any conversation about the future entirely, if they resist defining the relationship after a meaningful amount of time, if they keep everything temporary and vague, that's something to notice. Love moves toward clarity. It may take time, but it does not run from commitment indefinitely. Real love also supports your independence. It doesn't isolate you from friends. It doesn't discourage your hobbies. It doesn't criticize your ambitions. A man who loves you wants you to maintain your world. He understands that a healthy relationship is two complete individuals choosing to walk together, not two halves desperately clinging. Emotional safety is another deep indicator. Can you express your feelings without fear? Can you disagree without worrying that he'll withdraw affection? When you cry, does he sit with you or shut down? Emotional safety doesn't mean there are no disagreements. It means disagreements don't threaten the foundation. Consistency is crucial. Anyone can be intense at the beginning. Anyone can text constantly for the first month. But what happens over time? Does the effort remain steady? Love is not about occasional grand gestures. It's about steady presence. It's about reliability. You don't have to question where you stand because his behavior answers that question for you. Watch how he behaves under stress. Stress reveals character. When he's overwhelmed, does he lash out at you? Does he disappear emotionally? Or does he communicate what he's feeling? A man who loves you may struggle sometimes. He's human, but he will not use stress as an excuse to mistreat you. He will try to manage his emotions responsibly. There's also something powerful about how he speaks about you when you're not around. Respect doesn't disappear when you leave the room. If he speaks kindly about you to others, if he protects your dignity, that's integrity. Love respects in public and in private. Time investment matters too. In a busy world, time is valuable. If he consistently makes time for you, not just when convenient, that shows priority. You don't feel like an afterthought. You feel chosen. Another key sign is vulnerability. When he shares his fears, his insecurities, his doubts, that means he trusts you. Many people hide their softer side. When someone opens up, it signals emotional depth. And when love is real, vulnerability flows both ways. You feel safe to reveal your imperfections too. There is a difference between attraction and devotion. Attraction can feel electric. It can be intense and exciting, but it can also fade quickly. Devotion builds through shared experiences, through reliability, through everyday moments. Devotion is choosing someone repeatedly. It's staying through boredom, through routine, through life's ordinary days. Notice how he responds to your emotions. If you're upset, does he say you're overreacting? Or does he try to understand what hurt you? Someone who loves you doesn't treat your emotions as inconveniences. Even if he doesn't fully understand at first, he makes an effort to see your perspective. Healthy love also involves shared responsibility. He doesn't expect you to carry all emotional labor. He initiates conversations about improvement. He checks in. He contributes to maintaining the connection. You shouldn't feel constant anxiety in love. Butterflies at the beginning are normal, but long-term love feels grounded. It feels stable. You're not constantly guessing. You're not constantly proving your worth. You feel secure because his actions align with his words. Conflict resolution is another revealing factor. Does he aim to win arguments or to solve problems together? In healthy love, the goal is understanding. It's not about dominance. It's about partnership. Support during difficult times is perhaps one of the strongest indicators. When life becomes challenging, loss, stress, uncertainty, does he remain steady? Does he offer comfort? Love shows itself most clearly in hardship. It doesn't disappear when things get complicated. You'll also notice patience. Real love is patient with your growth. It doesn't rush you into decisions before you're ready. It doesn't pressure you into changing who you are overnight. It allows space for evolution. Trust builds naturally in real love. You don't feel the need to check his phone. You don't feel suspicious without reason. Transparency creates peace, and peace is a powerful sign. Another important element is mutual respect during disagreements. He doesn't insult you. He doesn't attack your character. He addresses the issue without tearing you down. Words spoken in anger still matter. Love chooses them carefully. Affection in real love feels warm, not performative. It's not about showing off. It's about connection. Whether it's a gentle touch, a reassuring glance, or simply sitting close, affection communicates safety. You will also feel valued. Your opinions matter in decisions. Your preferences are considered. You're not just included for appearance, you're included in substance. Real love encourages growth on both sides. It challenges you gently to become better, while also accepting who you are right now. It doesn't demand perfection. It appreciates effort. And perhaps most importantly, when someone truly loves you, you can be yourself completely. You don't have to edit your personality. You don't have to hide your flaws. You don't have to shrink your voice. You feel accepted. Love is not proven by a single dramatic act. It's proven by repeated, consistent behavior over time. It's revealed in how someone treats you on ordinary days, in how they handle conflict, in how they respond to your vulnerability, in how they celebrate your growth. If you see these patterns, deep listening, respect for boundaries, consistent effort, accountability, emotional safety, encouragement, inclusion in the future, then you're not just experiencing attraction, you're experiencing intentional love. Always pay attention to actions over promises. Words can be beautiful, but consistency tells the truth. Notice how you feel around him. Do you feel safe, encouraged, respected, supported? Those feelings are not accidental. They are responses to behavior. Love that lasts is built on mutual understanding, shared values, emotional maturity, and consistent care. It's not loud. It's not chaotic. It's steady. It's intentional. It's patient. When a man truly loves you, you won't have to constantly question it. You'll see it in the way he looks at you. You'll feel it in the way he treats you. And you'll experience it in the quiet, everyday moments that gently remind you that you matter. If you see these behaviors in someone, you're not just experiencing attraction. You're experiencing depth. You're experiencing intentional care. And that kind of love is not loud or flashy. It's powerful because it's real. Always remember to observe actions over promises. Words can be beautiful, but consistency tells the truth. Pay attention to how you feel around him. Do you feel safe, encouraged, respected, supported? Those feelings are signals. Love that truly lasts is built on mutual understanding, accountability, growth, and genuine affection. It doesn't demand perfection, it asks for effort. It doesn't demand control, it invites partnership. When a man truly loves you, you won't have to constantly question it. You'll see it, you'll feel it, and most importantly, you'll experience it in the small, everyday moments that quietly say, "You matter to me."